Welcome, welcome to the Rotary Club of Greenville. This is a special day for us, of course, to have so many young people with us for Career Day. It's always an exciting program to look ahead for young people and to potential careers, and for those of us who are in careers now to look back at a stage when we were trying to map out our lives. So I hope we have some good synergies around the tables today and in workplaces. And we're, for our many guests, I'm the Club President, Wade Culp, and it's a special treat to have you here at our 100-year-old Rotary Club for this event. A lot of people have been involved in making today happen, but I want to recognize especially Pam Weaver, Elizabeth Razor, who have been working tirelessly. I know they have a committee too. It's not just them. And of course, Greenville Technical College is our sponsor today, and they deserve our special thanks as well. So if you could go ahead and give them a hand. And again, for those of you who hadn't found a seat, if there's still people trickling in, just sit anywhere you see a seat and we will reorganize at the end. And there are lots over here, I'm told. So head over to the far side of the room. So I would like to invite Caroline Stewart up to deliver our invocation and pledge, and then that'll be followed by our introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians.
Thank you, Wade. If you will bow your head with me, please. We pray that while we recognize our differences in those we meet, we will look for the similarities so that we may live together in harmony, respecting each other and learning how to work together. May our actions be influenced by the four-way test and our desire to serve others. Let us be thankful for what we have and remember to reach out a hand to those who need it. Amen. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a great list of guests today, so when I call your name, if you don't mind, please stand. Dave Amon, guest of Christine Braswell Amon. Stephen Lanzel and Monica Salas Myers, guests of Connie Lanzel. Katrina Nelson, guest of Lisa Minnick. Brett Garrison and John Chandler, guests of Elizabeth Razor. Becca Stefaniano and Kay Davis, guests of Joel Jones. Laura Nicholas, guests of Pam and Terry Weaver. And we have Matthew Johnson from the Abbeville Rotary Club. And then we have a list of guests of the club: TJ Hills, David Beach, Casey Stevenson, Ashley Childress, Statler Bush, Jason Warren, Doc Giddings, Jeremy Brown, Taya Notel, James Stevens, Lynn Ballard, Megan Warrants, and Rashidi Green. Thank you all for being here today.
Wonderful to see so many guests out there. The best way to learn about our club is through a program that we call Discover Rotary. We have it once a month in person before our second meeting of the month, and we also offer it via Zoom. It's about 45 minutes, and it gives you a great introduction to Rotary. And I mention that in part because we've got membership on the agenda today. Now, this may not be the most exciting part of the program, you think, but we're going to try to spice it up here in a minute with a little bit of a skit, impromptu, planned out by me and Ryan Thackeray right before this meeting. So those of you with a little bit of a memory will remember our prior acting gigs. But I want to talk to you just very briefly about a new membership category. This was mentioned in our newsletter. I'm excited about it. Our board is excited about it. We're calling it an active service membership. And we think it will be very appealing for people who may be interested in our club but cannot attend on a regular basis our second and fourth Tuesday of the month meetings at noon. Sometimes you might hear that as an objection. You're talking to them about all the great things in Rotary, but they've got some sort of obligation that means they can't make those meetings. This new membership category, which is open to everybody, is going to be a wonderful opportunity, I think, to introduce people, to tell the Rotary story, and to get people involved in our service projects. So here's the idea. The dues structure, you pay the normal Rotary dues plus $75, but you don't pay in advance for the meals. So that means you would just pay at the door for any meals that you come to. So that will be a big change for potentially people looking at the club, but who cannot make those regular meetings. So $75 in addition to our regular club dues. You pay at the door for meals. Our price at the door for meals will be going up next, I think starting June 1st. Jenny might want to correct. Maybe the new Rotary year. Either June 1st and the new Rotary year will be going up to $25 at the door from the current price of $21. If you are one of those members who pays in advance, you'll still have that $21 price point as well. So that will be a big change. I think it's very exciting for our club to bring in some new people. And those membership categories will be granted. You'll apply just like any other members do to apply to be in the club. But in this case, the board will be looking at this member to show, but we would expect them to show that they cannot attend on a regular basis our meetings, either because of work or family obligations. And then also they would have a demonstrated record of service, supporting our club service projects if you're looking to transition into that membership category as a current member, or a demonstrated record of active service in the community in support of other community service projects. So it really is designed to catch those people who can't come to meetings on a regular basis, but they would like to be involved in our great service work in this club. So think about that. Use those cards that we've handed out, those business cards. Remember, we passed those out in the meeting. Get some more if you need them. Let's get people in Discover Rotary. We've got a few more sessions this Rotary year, and it would be great to get some new blood in here supporting our work. So with that, I think it's time for a brief skit.
Oh man, wait. Man, it has been too long. I'm so glad I ran into you though, Wade, because aren't you involved in some civic organization? I've been just trying to get involved in something in the community, man.
Providential. I'm the president of the Rotary Club.
Holy, of course you're the president, man. I tell you what, I always knew you were going to do. Well, you know, I would love to become a Rotarian, but I feel like you guys meet too often, or it's just, when do you guys meet, Wade?
Second, fourth Tuesday of the month at noon. We usually done right around 1 o'clock. You can make it work.
At noon on Tuesday. Wait, I gotta tell you, man, I'm trying to become a TikTok influencer. And Tuesdays at noon is when I have my coaching courses. I'm trying to start my TikTok channel. It's called Long Hair Don't Care. And but yeah, man, my coaching sessions, my TikTok influencing campaign are Tuesdays at noon. So man, Rotary sounds good and all, but I don't think I can swing it, Wade. Oh, what's that, Wade? Tell me more.
And you know those meetings that you're able to come to? They have to go through your meeting. I think it'd be a great way to get you involved, but even if you couldn't be there every Tuesday, we could work it out.
You think I could probably pick up some TikTok followers as a result of this?
We're about networking.
So I can network, community service, maybe pick up some TikTok influencers and attend the meetings that I'm able to. Man, do you by any chance have a card or something that I could scan?
Have a card.
Man. Got some cash too, Wade, while you got it, man.
I've been handing mine out.
Oh, you've been handing yours out. Oh.
Then you can sign up for a Discover.
Well, you have your people call my people, Wade, and I look forward to joining the Rotary Club.
Hi, I'm Pam Weaver, one of the organizers, along with Elizabeth Racer of this day, and this is amazing. I love seeing so many fresh faces, leaders of the future right here. I want to say thank you to Greenville Technical College for providing the funds for your meals, for the students, for the guest facilitators, and for the counselors. They're covering your meals, your parking expense. So if you have a ticket from the parking garage, make sure you get a sticker. That'll get you out without having to pay yourself. But to start, I would like to introduce Brad Dill from Greenville County Schools. He's the work-based learning coordinator at Bonds Career Center. He also serves Blue Ridge, Eastside, Greer, and Riverside High Schools. As work-based learning coordinator, he's responsible for establishing business partnerships, relationships, developing cooperative education opportunities for students at the Career Center, recruiting students for the Launch Greenville internship program sponsored by the Greenville Chamber of Commerce, and I lost my other piece of paper, so I will just, so welcome Brad Dill, please.
Good afternoon. I'm really more interested in hearing more about the long hair, don't care TikTok at this point. Thank you for hosting us this afternoon. We appreciate that very much. I'm very blessed and honored to be able to represent Greenville County Schools and our work-based learning team and our students that are in attendance today. I would like to introduce our team, or those members that are here. I know Mr. Eric Williams is our Executive Director of Career and Technology Education. I don't know if he made it today. Rebecca Danarine, she's our Regional Career Specialist. Rebecca, is she in? Lori Hoyer, who's our Work-Based Learning Team Lead. I know she's here. Thank you, Lori. Stella Grove, who's the Donaldson Career Center Work-Based Learning Coordinator. Verdina Hill, she represents the Innery Career Center as Work-Based Learning Coordinator. And Chris Woodleaf, who represents Golden Strip, could not be here today. So what we wanted to do is just kind of tell you a little bit about work-based learning. We did this last year too, but it's always a great refresher. Work-based learning is basically a partnership between local businesses and high school students that's able to actually give them work-based learning experience or real-world experience prior to graduation. And that's really important because they're able to do several things, which are the benefits. For students, it builds their resume. It helps them get that real world experience that they need prior to graduation, which also helps kind of guides their decision making before they actually enter college or the workforce. It gives them an opportunity to practice soft skills, which have become a priority. I can't tell you how many times we've actually been out in industry or on facility tours, and local companies have said, we will teach them the technical skill, but we need folks that have soft skills, those folks that are going to arrive on time, those folks that are good team players, those folks that want to work hard during their shift. So those soft skills are really important. And it also helps them earn money while they're in college, most are in high school. Most high school students are going to work part-time jobs anyway during their high school career if they're not involved in any extracurriculars. And this gives them a way where they can get that real world experience and actually get paid, have a little bit of money in their pocket. For the business, it actually helps them save money on recruiting costs. You don't have to reach out to recruiting or temporary agencies for employment. You can reach right out to the high school or to the local career centers, and we can help you. If you're interested in hosting an intern or a co-op during the fall, spring, or summer, then we can help you with that. And that also will help grow your workforce as you move forward. It also gives you a chance to train those students the way you want them to be. So many companies will train them, but if you get them as one of your employees, then you don't always, or they haven't been trained the way you want them. So the earlier you get them, you can train them the way you want to, and hopefully keep them on your staff. So who can participate in work-based learning? Basically, we do juniors and seniors throughout the high schools, or level 1, level 2 students from the career centers, with our focus being on those level 2 students. Those would be our second year students at the career center. They've already had a year under their belt and have the foundational knowledge for one of the career programs that they're interested in, such as welding, mechatronics, machine tool, cosmetology, firefighting, automotive, diesel tech. There's so many to name. I won't take the time to do that today, but juniors and seniors can apply. They do have to have their own transportation, which is part of being able to arrive on time. And students who are considered for these opportunities actually have to meet some criteria. We do look at their attendance, their grades, and their discipline history, because we want to make sure that they're a great fit for your company. And if they're not a great fit for your company, then we want to put them somewhere else. And so part of building that relationship allows us to speak with you, the business owner, and see what type of student you're looking for, what types of responsibilities would they be responsible for, and then we can help match you with the correct student from a career center or a high school. Students do have to have a resume, which is a big part. When you enter the real world, if you don't have a resume, you're not going to get looked at a lot. So we do help them build resumes at the career centers and the high schools. That way they have something to take with them and so easy to apply online for different internships or co-ops, but it gives them something to take with them post-graduation as well. And then we also help them with interview preparation. It's not easy to sit down for your first or second interview, especially if you're looking for one of those more professional jobs or more of a permanent placement. So we do help them with interview skills, try to prepare them ahead of time. And so if you are interested in partnering with Greenville County Schools regarding work-based learning, co-ops, or internships at any point during the year, our email address is workbasedlearning@greenville.k12.sc.us, or you can find us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Okay, so thank you for your time, and it's great to see all the students here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. It's very informative for the students and for the businesses in here. We're fortunate today to have life coach Wendy Green as our featured speaker. Wendy is the host of the inspiring live show and podcast, Hey Boomer. How many boomers are in the room? Nice to have some non-boomers too. I don't even. Her goal is to help people see that they are never too young or too old to set another goal or dream, a new dream. Today, she will address life choices at all stages from high school to retirement. She has a degree in computer science from the University of North Carolina at Asheville and is a certified life coach. Wendy has raised 2 successful children and is a grandparent to 4 outstanding and lovable grandchildren, although no more outstanding and lovable than mine. Interesting little known fact about Wendy. She was the first girl page in the United States, serving in the Florida State Senate in 1970. The next year, they finally started to allow girls to be pages in Washington, D.C. Wendy served as the president of the Reedy River Rotary Club for 2 years. We are formally inviting her back to Rotary, hopefully the Rotary Club of Greenville. And please give Wendy a warm welcome.
Is that a graceful entrance? Right? Pam, thank you for saying that about my grandchildren. They are outstanding. Aren't all of our grandchildren outstanding? Yes. And thank you for the introduction. It's wonderful to be here, to see some familiar faces, a lot of new faces, and all you students. Wow, what a cool thing. So Pam has asked me to come and speak to you about career choices and career trajectory and those kinds of things, because I am a transition coach, among other things. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today were 3 things. One is that careers are not static. They change. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about is I want you to think about finding work that interests you, that you feel passionate about, because that is going to help you find happiness in your career. And third, I want to bust the myth about work-life balance. There is no such thing. We can talk about work-life harmony, and we will, but work-life balance? So I want to start out by asking the students in the room, how many of you are planning after high school to go either to college or to Greenville Tech or one of the community colleges in the area? All right. And how many of you know for sure what you want to major in when you get there? All right. Higher. Pam says, raise your hands, be proud. My next question is to you adults in the room. How many of you are working in the exact field that you majored in when you went to college? Wow. I'm surprised. All right. How many of you are not? There you go. Right. Because careers change. As Pam told you, I am a podcast host and a life transition coach. Neither one of those professions existed when I graduated from college a while ago. My first year at university, I was going to major in sociology. I knew I wanted to be in some kind of helping profession. I also was a very young student in college and decided to leave after that first year and get married. Do not do that. I ended up with 2 wonderful children, but I also ended up going back to school at 28 as a single mom. Not an easy way to go and get your degree. At that point, I knew I had to study something that I would be able to support my children. And sociology meant much longer term because I would have had to get a master's degree. So I decided to major in computer science. And it was not a bad choice. I was able to find a job right away. However, I was doing work that I really did not like. So I spent the first couple of years doing computer programming, and fortunately, I was in a large company, so I was looking around for other opportunities, and I was able to move into customer support. And that allowed me to finally start doing things that filled my need to be helpful, right? So people were having trouble. It's kind of different than some of the support you get today now when you call a hotline, where you don't really talk to anybody. We were very much hands-on support. And from there, I also was able to move into some training. I was able to train some of my coworkers in some of the technology that we were using, and I'll go into more detail about that as we go on. But it really started to pivot me some to go, okay, I know I like to help people. Writing code is not my thing. Where am I going to find it? So I tell you this story because all of you students here, as you start moving into your life after high school, it's time to start thinking about what excites you, right? Where is your passion? What difference do you want to make in the world? And start to find ways, right? So in computer science, who would have thought that I could find a way to also be helpful? And for some people, as software engineers, that is the way. For me, that wasn't. But finding another way to use my helpfulness in customer support and then in training and development was really a good move for me. And so try to find that. It also helped me move into my podcasting and coaching career, because as I was moving along in training and development, I moved into more of the soft skills training, as Brad talked about. So leadership development, how to do a performance review, those kinds of things. I got certified in change leadership. I got certified as a life coach. And so I started to move along, and that moved me into my podcasting and coaching business. So whatever area you decide to major in, whether it's in welding or graphic design or medicine or science or media, whatever it is, find the part of it that excites you as you move along. So let's talk about your education after high school, okay? I strongly believe in education, right? I now, in my work with people who are retiring, talk about lifelong learning. And so I strongly encourage you, wherever you go, whether you're going into a technical skill, a community college, or a four-year university, go in with an open mind and an open heart. There are so many opportunities, especially once you get onto a campus. Greenville Tech, Furman, Clemson, USC, all of them. So many opportunities for you to take advantage of. Take advantage of them. You don't know what's out there still. And explore and be excited about it. I read a book recently called The 100-Year Life, Living and Working in the Age of Longevity. Has anyone read it? Highly recommend it. Okay, it was written by an economist and a social scientist out of the London Business School. And they are talking about the change in the career trajectory for Zoomers, all of you guys in the Gen Z generation. If you think about it, before the 20th century, the average lifespan was like 40 years. And we had two stages of ages, right? We had children and we had adults. As we have moved into the industrialized years and our lifespans have expanded, well, Social Security was designed for people living to 60 because they didn't think they were going to have to pay us. But we developed two new age stages, teenagers and retirees. The premise of this book is that there will be age agnostic stages as we move into this age of longevity. So their premise is that you guys who are now going to be moving into college and then the workforce are going to have a very different career trajectory than my generation had. You will do some training, you will work, you will take some time off, maybe for leisure, maybe for travel, maybe for retraining, and then you will come back into the workforce again, maybe doing something similar, something very different, and that cycle will continue as you move along. But it's not realistic for you to think that you're going to retire at 60 or 65 because 40 years without an income, probably not going to happen. So the idea of this circular, you work, you retrain, you take time off, and you come back into the workforce, you retrain again. It's really kind of freeing if you think about it. Many students that I have talked to and many young employees when I was managing software teams had this idea that they studied something in college that locked them in, and so they had to make the right choice. But what if that's not true? What if you study something in college to expand your horizons and to start your career, but then you can retrain and move into other opportunities? So I want you to think about learning as a journey and your careers as a journey and not worry so much about being locked into your profession. And so that's going to move me into the discussion of finding work that you love. That used to be like the buzzword for us in the boomer generation, right? Find work you love and the money will follow. Well, if you do a search on Amazon for books about finding work you love, you're going to find hundreds of them. And ideally, we do want to be doing things that we love to do because then it doesn't feel so much like work. But the reality is, when you first start out in your career, you're probably not going to be doing exactly what you love to do. You're going to be learning. You're going to be growing as an individual. And you may not know yourself well enough to know exactly what it is that you love to do. Some of what we learn when we go to college is about ourselves, right? Up until that time, when you're actually out of the house, you are who your parents think you should be. You are who your teachers think you should be. You are who you think you should be. And you are interested in what you think you should be interested in. But once you get out on your own and you're looking back at what everybody told you was true about you, you start to learn more about who you really are. I had so many insights about my family and the roles that they played and who I was becoming. And you know what? we're always becoming, right? I find that even with people that I'm coaching as they are moving into retirement. Now they're redefining themselves to somebody else. So who are they becoming? So it continually evolves. So as I mentioned, I got my degree in computer science. Yeah, it's helping that I'm not afraid of the technology I've had to learn when I'm podcasting, but it's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing computer science. I did have an opportunity though in my previous company, Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC. Anybody know that company? Yeah, DEC used to be second to IBM until they didn't think that you could have laptops. So anyway, but when I was at DEC, that's where I said, you know what, I want to move into customer support. And then I heard about a program where I could spend 6 weeks in Nashua, New Hampshire with the engineers who were designing the programs for our clients, but they were designing things that the clients, like what did the clients want? They didn't know. So they were bringing the customer support people in to work with them. While I was there, I discovered an application called LinkWorks that was being engineered out of the Netherlands. I was super excited about this. Came back to the support center, said, we got to support this. And they kind of patted me on the head and said, well, if you can find the hardware and a couple of people to work with you, go ahead. So I did. And I called the folks in the Netherlands and said, hey, I want to support you on this. And they were super excited. Somebody in the United States is paying attention. And the next thing I knew, I'm on a plane to Amsterdam, learning all about this program. Came back to the US, started what we called the US Expertise Center. How cool was that? It was Wendy's US Expertise Center. But it was an amazing opportunity. I got to travel all over the world with this. I went to Canada, I went to Brazil, I went to Europe, I went all over the US. And I'm telling you this story because I think it's important that you find your niche when you're in your profession, but you have to be courageous to find it. It's not going to find you. You have to be willing to say, can I do that? Can I try that? And you may question yourself, right? We all get afraid. You may say to yourself, oh, that looks cool, but I don't have the skills for that. Or, I don't really know how to do that. Well, guess what? You've been learning all your lives. So why can't you learn something else? So you have to be courageous. You have to advocate for yourself and ask for the opportunity. But here's the other side of that. You have to be deserving of that opportunity. So as Brad was talking about the soft skills, your professionalism in whatever you're doing is so important. You may be doing a job you don't like. Be professional. They have hired you for a job. They have hired you to do a particular thing, and your boss and your coworkers and your clients are counting on you. So even if you don't like what you're doing at the moment, I still encourage you to be professional while you're looking for your next opportunity. Because if it's within your company, the next opportunity is more likely to come your way if they see you as a professional and deserving. And if you're not looking within your company, that's still going to follow you. Guess what? They're going to go back and they're going to ask for references. Be professional. And find a mentor, right? Don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. One of the things I find with young people is, and I did this myself, golly, if they think I don't know everything, they're not going to trust me to do the work. You can't possibly know everything. None of us know everything. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to find a mentor, to not know everything. Ask questions, be curious. That also is part of your professionalism because it's showing that you want to improve. All right, let's talk about work-life balance. Okay, I have coached so many people over the years that are like, yeah, but I want work-life balance. Well, it ebbs and flows, right? Sometimes the work you're doing is going to take precedence. And sometimes there will be more flexibility. Sometimes I remember on software projects, we'd put all-nighters, because there was a deadline. You had to do it. So I want to talk about work-life harmony. That's finding more of a way to organize your time that makes sense. And as you're working, and this may be a little bit forward thinking for those of you that aren't really in the career world yet, but in a way you're practicing some work-life harmony now, right? You're in school and you have tests and you have activities, music or sports or clubs that you're a part of, and you want to spend time with your friends and your parents are making demands on you to do chores so you're still trying to find that harmony in your schedule. And it's not always equal. And I want you to think about this as you're graduating high school and moving into college and or trade school, and you first get there and you're like, oh my gosh, they want me to read all those books in one semester. They want me to do all of this work. Yeah, right. You remember that. It's hard. You get there and you're like, oh my gosh, really? Yes, really. And you will figure it out because you've been figuring it out all your lives. You've been finding it. Now, your parents have been helping you. So part of knowing who you are and figuring out who you want to be is part of finding your way to manage your time and to find that harmony between all the expectations that you have. What else do I have? Oh, yeah, this is interesting. So, I'm talking about this work-life balance, right? We're so busy with our jobs. Well, what happens when people retire, and this is really interesting, when people retire, now they're missing all that busyness. Right? Now they have 16, 18 hours in the day and they're like, what the heck am I going to do with all of this unstructured time? Who am I now? I got meaning from my work. I felt like I had a purpose in the work I was doing. Where's that coming from now? Some of it is coming from Rotary, for sure. But, that is a big loss for people. And so transitions are difficult. And that's one of the things about this 100-year life I talked to you about. There's going to be in your lifetimes many transitions. And so you guys will become more experienced at managing your transitions than those of us in my generation were. Okay, so how do I want to wrap up this career day with Rotary? First of all, no matter what you study in college, in technical school, really study with excitement, with an open mind. Expose yourself to all of the different opportunities that you see around you. Don't just stay in one little lane. Go to the talks. See other classes that you might not normally take. See what's out there. It's a big world. And guess what? Podcasting was new for me. In 20, 30 years, something else is going to be there for you guys that you never thought about today. Second, remember that your careers are built over time. I started out as a software engineer. I moved into customer support. I moved into coaching. I moved into podcasting. The through line is the helping. I knew that I wanted to be a helper. That's the through line. So your career trajectory will change. Potentially, you saw many hands said, no, they're doing this exact thing they studied for, and many hands said, no, they've changed a lot. So potentially, your career trajectory will change as you go along. So look for those opportunities, find those mentors, and stay curious. And think about work-life harmony instead of work-life balance. Find that pleasing arrangement that works for you so that you can balance your social time, your time with your work, your time with your family, your time for leisure. Find that harmony and have fun. Make a difference. Work is not just about making money. Find a way to live your life and find a way that you will feel like you are adding value and making an impact on others. So thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. I hope it was helpful because, you know, that's what I like to be. And good luck to all of you.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, Brad. I once heard the word vocation defined as the place where your deep passions and the world's deep need meet. So that's really the challenge in front of all you young people today, is to find that place. Or maybe there are multiple places over your life, as Wendy told us, that your deep passions and the world's deep needs will meet. Great to hear both of those messages. So I do have a few closing announcements before we break up into our roundtables today. Now, I don't want the students to tune this out, so some of these will actually apply to you as well. First, I'm wondering, do we have any current juniors or sophomores in high school? Raise a hand. Okay. Oh, great. Well, it sounds like a good many people. There is a fun program that Rotary sponsors at Erskine College from June 2nd to the 10th. We're taking applications now called RYLA, Rotary Youth Leadership Academy. I think I've got the acronym correct. Those applications are due soon, but we pretty much pay the tuition. It's a fun week of leadership training, and I think there's some scholarship opportunities available at Erskine afterwards if you're interested in that. So we've see me, or there's some other people in our club that can tell you about RYLA. That might be a fun program for you if you're interested in leadership development, and are free in early June. We also have some volunteer opportunities coming out, both for our club and if some of you high school students are in organizations at your school that require volunteer hours. There's some fun opportunities. April 22nd, that's a week from this coming Saturday, we're cleaning up North Main Rotary Park again. This is an annual event and it's in coordination with Earth Day. So that would be a fun opportunity to get out there and do some work in the beauty of the natural world and to remember Earth Day. And then also the Reedy River Rotary Club on May 9th is having their annual Ducky Derby. Who wouldn't want to see thousands of little rubber ducks go over the Reedy River Falls from the bridge? That should be a lot of fun, and they do need volunteers for that. So if you're interested in either of those opportunities, those are coming up quite soon. A few other things. We had a wonderful spring social a couple of weeks ago at Spare Time. That was a lot of fun. I lost at bowling. A number of other people were there who won, though. We had a good time, and we've got some other mixing and mingling events coming up. On April 17th is Health and Happiness at 6 and 20 Brewery at 5 p.m. And then on May 4th is the first of our Thirsty Thursdays events. We're encouraging new members to come to that and mix with us as well. That's at 5 p.m. at Liability Brewing. And then we've got 2 Discover Rotaries coming up. I mentioned that on April 18 and 25 to know more about our club. And our next 2 meetings, we've got Max Stone, the Executive Director of Natural Land Trust. Again, we'll be talking about the exciting conservation work that organization has done over many years in the upstate. He's going to have a great photography exhibit to show us. And then Don Kuntz, a former club president, will be talking about the history of our club. Some of you with a memory will recall back in 2016, we celebrate our 100-year anniversary. And so we'll be going back through some of that history that many of you may be new to. So all those things are coming up, all very exciting. And one other thing too, the district conference is at the end of this month in Columbia from April 28 to 30. You can sign up for events in that a la carte. If you can just go down for an evening or one of the banquets, you can just sign up for that event as well. So that will be in Columbia, I think at the USC's Alumni Center. Pass the CART buckets. They're in the middle of the table for Alzheimer's research. We've got a special speaker from CART coming at our next meeting who will be with us shortly then too. Okay, so that's all the announcements. Any questions about any of those? With all these students, I feel like I really could give a test. They might be paying very close attention. All right, so here are my instructions for how the career day will begin and our meeting will end. So first of all, as we close, if you are a Rotarian here and you are not participating in one of the career day activities, we love you very much, but get out of here. We've got a lot going on. So a lot of people are going to be moving around. You can do your networking and mingling out in the hallway there and just move on out of here. Please come back, but that would be helpful for us. Okay, so here's some directions. Oh, wait, should I wait for everybody to clear out? Let's see. Oh, I'll go ahead and mention this. All right, so law students and facilitators, you are to come to the right of the podium, right over here, and we will be walking over to my place of work at Weich and shortly. Arts, AV, and communication students and facilitators, please come to the left side of the podium where Marty Elliott will walk with you over to Center Stage Theater. Architecture students and facilitators, please go to the pre-function area, so just outside the ballroom here, and Brett Caldwell will be walking with you over to DP3. Human services and social work students and facilitators, if you would move to the back of the room, Lorraine Holman will walk with you to the Francis Marion room that's in this hotel, so she'll be taking you over there. And then all STEM students and facilitators are also to move to the back of the room where you will meet with George Fletcher. He will be taking you to another room in the hotel. So I think that covers the groups that are going somewhere else, and there's some that are staying in here, right? So if you didn't see them, then you're staying at a table in here, and if you could find that table. So I think anything else from Pam? Okay. Anything? Well, it's great to have you all here today. We close our meetings with what we call the four-way test that talks about the ideals that we hold up as Rotarians. So I'd invite you all to stand and join me in saying that. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you for being here today.
Here.